1983, the world was watching, but no one could see what was about to happen. The Cold War had turned the Earth into a ticking time bomb. Two superpowers stood face to face, fingers on the trigger, one wrong move. One misunderstanding and everything would vanish in a blinding flash deep beneath the surface of the Soviet Union, inside a secret military bunker. A young lieutenant colonel named Stanislav Petrov sat in silence. He wasn't a general, he wasn't famous, he wasn't trained to be a hero, but that night he would make a decision no machine could make, no protocol could predict, and no government would ever fully acknowledge. It was just after midnight, September 26, when the alarms began to scream. The lights in the bunker flickered. Red sirens swirled overhead, and then the message came through: nuclear missile launch detected, United States to Soviet Union. Everyone in the room froze. Petrov's screen flashed again. Missile inbound, time to impact 25 minutes. The world had been preparing for this moment for decades. Simulation after simulation drills, training, retaliation protocols said, confirm the attack, then launch your own. No hesitation, no emotion, just push the button. The men around him looked at him, their faces pale, their hands trembling. They waited for his word, for the one signal that would begin the end of everything. Petrov stared at the screen. He couldn't see the missiles. Only the alert, the cold digital confirmation, and something didn't feel right. Only one missile? Why would the Americans start an all-out nuclear war with just one? Another warning came through, then another. Now the screen showed 5 missiles, all inbound, all deadly. A voice behind him whispered, "They've launched another." Said it's over, but Petrov remained still. His breathing slowed. He felt like the entire weight of humanity was pressing on his shoulders. The protocol demanded immediate retaliation: launch the Soviet arsenal, fire everything, wipe out an enemy. But what if it was a false alarm? What if the system had made a mistake? If he chose wrong, he would go down in history as the man who let his country be destroyed. But if he launched, and it was an error, he would be the man who ended the world. Minutes passed. The pressure was unbearable. He knew generals would question him, superiors would not protect him. If he failed to act and the missiles were real, he would be executed for treason. But somewhere inside him, a calm voice rose. It said, "Wait." He picked up the phone and reported the alarm as a false signal. No confirmation of an actual launch, no retaliation recommended. Then he waited seconds, felt like hours. The entire bunker held its breath. Would fire rain from the sky? Would the earth go dark? But nothing came, no explosion, no missiles, nothing. Later it was revealed, it had all been a glitch. A rare reflection of sunlight on high-altitude clouds confused the Soviet early warning satellite system. Stanislav Petrov, by trusting his instinct, by going against the very system he was sworn to obey, saved the lives of billions. He didn't follow the machine. He followed his gut, but the Soviet Union didn't reward him. He wasn't celebrated. He was questioned, punished, humiliated. He lived the rest of his life in obscurity, suffering alone, forgotten. He died in a small Russian apartment. No medals, no parades, no global tributes. Only later did the world begin to understand that no one knew a man sitting in a dark bunker, faced with a decision no one should ever have to make, had made the right call, and in doing so, he prevented a catastrophe beyond imagination. History books may not always mention his name, but if you're watching this breathing, living, you owe your life to a moment of hesitation, to a man who dared to doubt the system, to a man who chose peace over protocol. Stanislav Petrov. The man who saved the world not with action, but with restraint. And sometimes doing nothing takes more courage than doing everything. Seeing